To Viscount Molesworth. The Drapier's fifth letter. A letter to the Honourable the Lord Viscount Molesworth. At his house at Bragdonstown, near Swords, was published on the 31st of December 1724. The letter includes the most pseudo-biographical information on the Drapier. This letter is seen as the final salvo in the Drapier's fight against Wood's patent. Although there was a possible agreement between Carteret and Walpole over ending the patent, Swift found it necessary to publish this defense of the fourth letter to ensure that Walpole would not back down from his promise of removing the patent. It has also been seen as a letter celebrating Harding's release from being tried for printing the Drapier's letters. The Drapier begins his letter with three quotations: Psalm 109, Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 7, and Virgil's Aeneid Book 5. With these passages, he sets the tone for his own defense by appealing to both the reason and the religious sentiments of his audience. To prove his innocence, I foolishly disdained to have recourse to whining, lamenting, and crying for mercy, but rather chose to appeal to law and liberty and the common rights of mankind, without considering the climate I was in. Some critics argue that Swift did not need to defend himself, and to Viscount Molesworth was written to gloat. However, the essence of the letter encourages the Irish to remember the actions of Walpole, Wood, and the British Parliament. By willingly throwing himself before the judgment of his fellow Irishmen and before the final judgment of God, the Drapier claims that he is and always will be on the correct side of the argument. Other critics emphasize that the letter's object, Lord Molesworth, was targeted to bind the higher and lower classes together, using Molesworth, a religious dissenter, a nobleman, and the opposite of Swift. The Drapier unites all of the various people of Ireland in a common nationalist cause. Instead of defending charges against himself, the Drapier is calling up more support for the Irish cause. He seeks attention so that the greater liberty of Ireland will be respected. The letter serves one other purpose: to delight in the Drapier's lack of being captured and his victory over Whitshed. William Whitshed, Lord Chief Justice of the King's Bench in Ireland, was the one who actually arrested Harding and sought to convict him of printing treasonous materials. A letter written anonymously by Swift, seasonable advice to the grand jury, motivated the Irish jury to stand up against Whitshed and release the printer. The Drapier hints at the letter and the freeing of Harding when he lists many other works written by Jonathan Swift, and, in the process, nearly reveals his own identity. However, his tone may not be mocking, as he could just be flaunting his own position, and some have credited this idea to the incorporation of so many biblical and classical allusions beyond the three that begin the letter. Scholar Herbert Davis declared this letter is in some ways the best written of all the letters. End of the letter. Thank you.